Hi everyone. So here we are. Another week's gone by. So another update to PKM Weekly is live. So this week just got the return of the Premiership, and unfortunately Fulham lost yesterday 1-0 against Man U, late goal. But anyway, onwards and upwards. So what do we have this week? Capacities, Logseek, Tana, Obsidian, other apps, and some thoughts. So it's quite a bit of updates. So let's get to it. So Capacities, first off, release number 40. So they're working towards offline and date ranges and much more. So they've recently released an update, changes the date ranges, natural language processing, which we'll get to in a second, but most importantly is much better offline support. So with this latest update, you can now just about work fully offline. There's still a few things missing, as they describe in this post here. So you've got better search, faster loading, big step towards offline, so reading, create, and edit your notes while on the go, which is very good. It works perfectly well. There are still a few things which aren't offline ready yet, but they are working towards it. Date picker, date ranges, which is good as well, and natural language input, and various different other things that you can look out for. So if you're a capacity user, definitely update the app and check out this great article from the team on their updates. Beth, she went and did a video on date picker, date ranges, and more. All of these are available in the basic plan, so you don't have to be pro or anything. And basically, with the new structure, it just makes it easier to be on a time basis as it was previously. So you can see you can select quickly today, tomorrow, in a week, 2 weeks, etc. You can then play with the time, play with the dates, ranges. So definitely worth checking out. Unfortunately, though, there are a few comments on the Reddit. In fact, a couple of comments on the Reddit which say that the performance is not quite what it seems. So this user here, they had a note of about 800,000 characters, so a very large note. And basically what happened was it kept freezing. So capacity freezes dead when trying to copy it, even copying less than a third of it. So it's at about 250,000 characters or so. So it's something to keep in mind for longer notes. I know with offline mode that they're improving it, but certainly if you've got long notes with lots of references and things, maybe capacities is not quite there yet. I have to say I've never had any issues with it, but I don't think my one document is ever as large as that. So if you do rely on large documents or large notes, just something to keep in mind. And yeah, they do say to consider splitting it into various different sections, separate notes, etc. But then the problem is that you just get lost, some part here, some part there, and it just becomes a bit of a mess. And then this user here, they've tried Capacities Pro for about 24 hours, and they've decided to wait before migrating. I think in the Reddit post they do mention which note they were coming from, but it basically, there's a few things which you just don't like. Backlinks is one of them. Task management is another. But it's definitely something, if you're on the fence or if you're thinking about capacities, it's worth checking out. And it might be that these issues that these two users encountered don't affect you, and it might be the app for you. As you can see, starts off with, I thought I found my one app. So it does hit all the right spots for a number of users, but there are a few edge cases where maybe it's not quite up to what you need. Logseek database is well and truly underway. So the alpha testing, I'm happy to say that I'm part of it, and I'm very impressed with it. So I did a video a couple of weeks ago now, maybe, that I tested the online demo version at demo.logseek.something.com. This one with the alpha testing is a little bit more up to date. They're updating it more regularly, and there are a few things that are in here which weren't included or are not included in the online version. So it's definitely going through its paces. There's already been quite a lot of feedback from various different users that are part of the pre-alpha testing. So it's taking shape. It's definitely there, up there with it nearing usability. Let's say there's a few edge cases, a few issues that people have encountered, a few differences to what people were expecting, in terms of how it works on the Markdown version versus the database version, but the devs are looking into it and seeing how best to go forward. And inevitably there will be some changes needed just in terms of how the backend works. And this is just a sneak peek of what you will be able to achieve. So this is a note that was created with class notes, and you can see you can create a sort of type of database, which you could create previously with the Markdown version using properties, tags, etc. But this one it feels a lot more natural to use rather than trying to work it and hack it together. Dario and Bass, or Tools on Tech, they did a video talking about database version, relationships, and PKM. It did take a little bit of a interesting turn when you look into the video. It's a great chat between the two of them, just talking about life in general and a little bit of Logseek, which I don't think was their intention, but it's definitely worth watching if you want to keep up to date with those two. And there is a Discord hangout today, Saturday 17th. That's going to be at 5 p.m. CST. As I said, it's going to be held on Discord, and you can click the link here to join it. And I think it's just going to be a chat through, various different users getting together, talking through what they found, how they're using it, problems, advantages, etc. And on that point, Tana's coming back to life, I'm happy to say. So they've got an Ask Me Anything organised for Thursday the 22nd. That's going to be also at 5 p.m. CST. And it's going to be the founders, Graham, Targay, and Olav. And they're going to be supported by Matt and Brage, just talking through. And basically it's going to be a little bit of an update to what's going on. Obviously Tana Core was released and then it went very quiet. How the mobile app is progressing, hopefully some updates on that. Updates on the roadmap or next plans. So hopefully there's going to be a little bit of discussion on that one. I mean, from the questions that have already been posted, they all, quite a lot rely on when's the mobile app going to be released, offline mode potential, encryption potential, roadmap, better communication. So the things that we've been discussing in the past few weeks. So they are taking it on board and are looking to address these issues and concerns. So if you're a Tana user or a fan of Tana or want to use Tana, definitely get yourself joined to this AMA. If you're still on the wait list, I'm sorry I don't really have an update. Not too sure when they're going to open the gates, but maybe that's something that will be discussed on this one. So I will update you next week. Yeah, on Slack, I mean, one of the founders, they did post that basically they know that they need to communicate better, more room for improvement. They are, I want to say nearly there with the mobile app, although it's not quite confirmed. They do just say we'd be disappointed if we weren't able to launch it before September 2024. So 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the deadline. That's September 2024. So here we go. And we shall see what comes out of it. They do say they do want to release iOS and Android, if not at the same time, very close together, which is obviously a huge plus to not have a differentiation between the two of them. But we shall see what happens. And then Santi posted a video on how to use task management in Tana. So well worth checking out if you're interested in that. Obsidian, this is a great video that basically just talks about why the user believes Obsidian is the best tool. And it really focuses on Markdown, portability, and you can just start easy. You can just simply start, control line, that's it, that's your note, off you go. You don't need to think of databases, headings, etc., etc. You just control line and start typing. That's the note. So it's definitely worth having a look into, a very popular video. Nick Milo also showcases some of the features on the mobile app from the 1.7 release, and especially the tab switcher. And then this user here, fairly new, but he does post something very useful in terms of images, and especially for Mac users, of how you can manage your images to reduce the file size of your vault. So definitely worth checking out that. And as you can see, it reduced my file size by about 70 to 80%. So it's definitely something that can help if you are struggling with images in Obsidian. And the good thing is he does also post Windows alternatives, which is a miracle, because usually we're ignored, us lowly Windows users, so that's useful. Other apps, there's been quite a flurry of updates. So AFFiNE posted 0.16, better organization, multi-tab, AI chat, color pickers, table of contents that you can move around, new doc entry, database improvements. So it's really coming along. And if you like the transition between notes and, let's say, a canvas or a whiteboard, it's definitely worthwhile looking into this app. It's open source, free to use, although they do have subscription packages with various different benefits of each level. So it's definitely something worthwhile. Anytype, a couple of news on Anytype. It's gone a bit quiet of late, but they're coming back as well. So Francesco Toolfinder, he posted a video on how to use Anytype and getting started. And then I'm happy to say that they're also doing a bit of a revamp to the whole sidebar, widget types, and things like that, just to make it a little bit easier, because sometimes it does get a little bit confusing of what should I do, how should I use it. Just a lot of features there which may seem overwhelming at first, so hopefully they make that easier to use. SiYuan, that's another one very similar to Obsidian in terms of structure, layout, functionality. They've got quite a number of updates of late, so it's definitely worthwhile keeping an eye on this app. The updates include improvement to sync, better database management, so you can actually do something very similar in SiYuan that you can in Notion. You can do databases, relationships. So what I'll do is I'll maybe post a video on that one shortly. Heptabase, they've got an update on the iPad, so you can split panel to view your cards on the whiteboard. So that's a useful quality of life improvement. And then Craft, I mean, the main one is really a 30% off all plans. So if you're a user of Craft or thinking about it, check out the link to get a 30% off all plans. It's not affiliate or anything, it's from their own website, but you might have missed it, so I just thought I'd post it. A couple of last closing thoughts. Post on struggling with the concept of file over app. This is definitely something I can relate to, especially with all of these online note-taking apps or PKM apps coming with so many good features, useful features as well. So some not so useful, but a lot are useful. And you're kind of at a crossroad of, do I use the fancy new tool, but then my notes are saved on someone else's server, and it's not necessarily as easy to port over if something goes wrong? Or do I stick with the trusty markdown file or local PKM app and miss out on some of the features and functionality? Although, having said that, people have been using pen and paper for years and years and years before even computers came about, and they didn't have any of these fancy technologies and features, so it's just something to keep in mind. They didn't need it then, why should we need it now? So is it just a means of procrastination? So something to think about. An unusual post I came across from ClickUp just last week, in fact a few days ago I think it was. They posted Rome Research versus Obsidian, which tool is best on the ClickUp app. Obviously it's just to drive some marketing and publicity to their own website with some key names in the advertising or in the heading, but it's worth reading. It's quite interesting just to see what their take on both of the two apps are. And obviously the two apps are quite different, Rome Research being online, Obsidian being offline, outliner versus full form, so it's definitely something just to read if you've got the time. And then Dario posted an interest, not quite productivity related, but a bit more all-encompassing. Thoughts, ideas, self-development, feelings, basically a very good write-up of what he's been going through in the past couple of years or so, and what he's encountered, what he's learned, and he shares that with us. So please do check that out. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much for watching as usual, and see you next week.